Hello, inspired thinker. If you're like me right now, you are trying to figure out what you can do. What can you do? What can I do as we continue to navigate this chaotic world? And if you're in BC right now, we are living it. Front row seat to the impacts of climate change. And it stirs up a lot within us, a lot of emotion, a lot of anxiety, and that can activate a desire to do something. What can we do? And I'm not going to speak to what we can do for climate change. I'm going to speak to what I think we can do for one another. And I think what we crave right now is to be heard and seen in whatever emotional state we're in. And so I wanted to kind of create a call to action here today that invites you to do something you might not think of as doing, and that is the act of listening. What if you could do more listening? And I have a couple of vivid examples of the power of listening. And this is ironic. It's a group of coaches. We're working together to create a diversity, equity, and inclusion strategy, and we feel urgency around that. We really want to make some change. We really want to fix the problem of a lack of diversity, a lack of inclusion, all the things we're passionate, so we want to fix it. And when we get hooked by this fixing energy, we were planning a session and it was all about doing and telling and sharing and suggesting. And then someone in the group said, "Hey, what if we just created the space to listen to what others think about this topic?" And it makes me laugh because, a group of coaches getting all hooked into the doing of fixing and telling rather than remembering the power of listening. And when we create space to listen to people's stories, experiences, wisdom, and create the space for something to be co-created, that's a really empowering and inspiring experience. And that is how we are going to fix complex problems in the world, is when we have more than one brain exploring a topic. So listening in that group context was a really, really vivid experience of the power of listening. And we ended up creating a really, I think, wonderful workshop. The other experience I had this week, so it's Wednesday. I'm recording this on Wednesday, November, whatever the date is, 17th, I think. And on Monday in our Dare to Lead group, I was watching the news. I was helping a friend get to a place safely. And it created a lot of emotions. And I was feeling anxious and fearful, and despair was the emotion that I shared with the group. And so I decided, not to arrive in a facilitation and ignore what was going on out there, not ignore what was going on for me. And I don't know what was going on for the 18 participants in the workshop. And I knew that we needed to create some space to acknowledge how people were arriving in that space. So we did that, and we just spent 8 minutes in small breakout groups, listening to one another, and giving people the space to be seen and heard in whatever emotions were present for them as they arrived into the learning. And the power of that is, I just can't say enough about a couple of things. Acknowledging how you're feeling, sharing it out loud, voicing it is very freeing, and then being seen in that, being heard in that. And people don't need to fix it or change it for you. All you need to do is name it and speak it and be witnessed in that. And so when people are willing to listen and create the space for that, it's a magical experience. And it shifted the energy for all of us. You know, we were able to then be present to the work we had to do for the rest of the afternoon. And I don't think I could have been present in that work if I hadn't created the space to be seen and heard with what was present for me emotionally. It set me free to acknowledge, move through that emotion, set it aside, stay present to the work, and then come back to it later. And actually what I found is that I didn't feel drawn back to despair. I had a different experience by the end of our afternoon. So my call to courage for you is to be brave enough to listen more and talk less, and let go of the idea that you need to fix or solve whatever's going on for the people around you, and be brave enough to sit in the listening. So that's my fired up call to action, call to courage for you today. Listening is doing something. I'll leave you with that. You're going to see us in your inbox a lot more often over the next 6 weeks as we launch a series of emails that are going to talk more intimately about the experience of the Inspired Leadership Signature Program. I hope you'll enjoy. I'm going to be pretty open and vulnerable in those emails. And I know I can be that here. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe, stay hopeful, and enjoy the practice of listening.